almost pinning you and Geno against each other now, because he's not going after Geno. You know, he's very cautious as to what he's saying about Geno. Almost like he doesn't even want to, say any bad things about Geno, but he's now calling you a liar. And
but at the same time, he does. He does these little digs like, well, listen, I don't want anything bad for them. Geno lost his job. Like, he didn't lose his job. He didn't take one because it wasn't worth his time. You know, like, they're getting married. He's so phony when he says that stuff. Like, I want them to be well. Like, I know they're going through tough times. What do you know? You know nothing. You know nothing. So Geno did what he felt was best for him. The contract with there was none. When they tried to do one with Gavin, it ended up being like here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah.
What's that?
I was saying,
so that's,
sorry.
That's why, like, those little digs. But yeah, that pisses me off probably more than Geno doesn't really listen. Geno just doesn't like the whole situation. He doesn't want to be Dabble-versy. He was disgusted with the way Aaron was acting even before I was. With the money thing, there were times where why did I get paid less than Geno did and I did the show more? You know?
Right.
Like, if you go through all the things that he read out, Moody made a spreadsheet of it.
In fairness, and this is not me coming to Steel Toe's defense, but in fairness, I think what he would say is whatever you guys got over the goal during that specific episode is how much you would take home. And
well, which is it? There were weeks where we weren't paid at all. There are a couple of those weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Which is it? Is it $100 each time, or is it over the goal? That's like,
okay.
And we don't care about it. We were just like,
right.
That's the only reason I said that. It wasn't about the money. Like, you want to read off the Venmos, I have them too. I didn't take the time to put it into a spreadsheet, but I'm like, yeah. And we would never ask him for a dime to begin with. But I did say when there were weeks where he didn't pay us, and then when we would ignore him a little bit, then we get a bring. I'll have to look it up. I plan on it on my show. That's what I meant, like a Venmo notification where he would pay us.
Gotcha.
So we were growing wary, and especially when you did say that, we're like, God, yeah. I mean, yeah, we don't want it to come off like that. We thought we were doing a friend a favor.
Right.
But again, back then, I still thought he was just like, okay, the guy's trying to be cool. He, he's divorced now. But then when I get really sassy, I guess you can call it, is when, like, all right, now this stuff comes out and about the alleged, headbutting. You're not just some unaware dweeb. You're kind of lying, and there's always something that comes out, and I don't take kindly to that.
So you mentioned that on your show that April had texted you. You had said something along the lines where it kind of gave you all the confirmation you needed to kind of confirm that Aaron is this monster, for lack of a better term. I don't know how much you can get into, whether you want to get into it at all, but I thought that was very interesting too on your most recent show.
Yeah, I don't, and again, I don't want to say what she said to me, and I had a brief conversation with her when I was in Dominican Republic, and she said one sentence, and it was all I needed to know. I'll just put it like that. Okay. And then I got many text messages during my initial Untoward Tuesday, and when I was reading them over, I'm like, yeah. And I'm not condoning the alleged stuff with the regatas, I don't condone that at all, but I wish she had never met all of them. Me and Geno have been saying that from the beginning. I wish she would get away from all of them. If she is, and we don't know if she's with her parents. We don't know. We don't know if she's with them. We have no idea. But if, we would just hope that she wouldn't be with them. But that's, only time will tell, I guess. Or, you know what? Maybe it's none of our business. Yeah. They're all dealing with enough. So.
Sure.
I thought you were lowering the goal, Aaron. Maybe you'd make it if you actually lowered it.
Right. That never happened. Never happened.
It's the same thing with the boxing, right? He doesn't ever really get anything or do anything he says he's going to do, like get anything together.
Nothing.
He just expects people to forget.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't want that. Sorry, I don't want that woman's photo around in the ether for her sake, you know?
No, I get it. I get it.
Yeah. John was gaslighting Keanu. He doesn't know what that means.
No,
he doesn't know what it means.
anything means. He's a retard.
He has no, like, remember when he didn't know what love bombing meant either?
Yeah, for like a week.
He has no idea. He's like, all John did was gaslight her. I'm like, I wasn't gaslit at all. You sent me a nice message. You're like, I just have to ask, like, did I gaslight you? I'm like, no.
Yeah, because
not at all.
I feel like you would have said that, but I was just trying to clear things up. Like, you know,
right,
I hear him saying it, and I'm like, I hope she doesn't feel that way, because that's not what I was doing whatsoever. I mean, I kind of knew what you were going through, like we had talked, and it was just like, you know, I get it, and that's why, like I said, I don't think you're doing this for a nefarious purpose or you're grifting at all, and you know, unless something insane comes out, I mean, I'll have to eat my words if that is the case, but I really honestly don't. I don't think that's the case.
Insane how? I'm just telling my experience of what I know of it. You know, like how could it be any different? I guess if somebody could like hack into my brain and be like, if my brain were saying, I think I could get a lot of views from this, but I wouldn't. That's just not me.
Yeah, no.
I'll sit on my show for 8 hours. I don't care how many people are watching. That's not it. I don't like the hypocrisy, and I don't like the lies, and I don't like what I've been hearing, and I don't like his weird excuses.
Yeah.
So I felt like I talk about my life on the show. I'm gonna sure as shit talk about this. So.
You know, we would observe it. I know you guys were like, you know, were once friends. So you were like, you know, more connected, I guess, so to speak. You felt more of a personal connection there. And you probably viewed us as like, oh, because I remember there was one point where you're like, all you do is hate on him and all this other shit. I'm like, that's not what it is at all. I'm like, it's so much deeper than that. And I think that's what you guys ultimately finally realized. And I think that's why I'll go out on a limb and stick my neck out and say, I don't think this is what Keanu was doing.
A family reunion, a family one, because he's a family man now.
Right. Oh my God. He was saying that yesterday. I watched it on the members only show. He was saying this whole thing has made him a better father. It's like, come on, dude. You know, what the
It's his new character, John.
Yes,
that's how he opened the show today. Yeah, well, you know, I now say, I think he said skibbity because my kids are running around saying it.
Yep.
He also now mentions he's like, I'm throwing a football with my son.
Right.
Are you? Okay.
It's disgusting.
That's his new character, family man.
It's disgusting the way he weaponizes his quote unquote family and his kids, and he'll use that to gain the audience's sympathy. You know, it's so disgusting the way he does that. And I can't wait till one day his children do grow up and they wind up seeing all this shit and wind up resenting him, because that will happen. You know what I mean?
Right. Dare I? You'd think I love Johnny. He was on my show on Halloween last year. I adore him. I was just making a comment on, he said this too. Thank you for reminding me. I was just making a comment on how his co-host was sitting there looking like he wanted to like himself, because he doesn't talk with Johnny. He talks at Johnny. And Johnny doesn't want to necessarily talk about all this bullshit, but and Aaron doesn't really listen. I had no idea. Johnny said it today. Aaron said, like, that's really nice of Keanu to say that you wanted to unalive yourself and you have a history of doing that, or trying to, I guess. I did not. He went, well, maybe she doesn't know that. He's like, she's heard my show. I don't listen to you all the time. Of course I did not know that, or else I wouldn't have said it. What kind of monster would I be? I'm shitting on Aaron, not Johnny. I was not making fun of Johnny. I love the guy. Like, that's a low down thing to do, Aaron, to make him feel like I knew that maybe he had attempted that, and I was shitting on you, Aaron, not Johnny. I was just saying, look how upset he was. He just recently cried on one of his streams because the stress of everything.
I don't
Some of
get
that
to
cry
sleep.
comes from the toe.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
that's the talk about gaslighting, right?
Right.
That's a perfect example. And again, that's why when he said that, you know, I told you, I'm like, this is literally everything we've said about him. This is what Aaron does. This is what he's good at. And he's just now using it on us, right?